Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is Florence Yariri and I am a nurse in the UK. In today's video, we'll be looking at the reason nurses are leaving the nursing profession, and also we'll be identifying some of the key ways to stop or to cope with some of the challenges that are making nurses to quit rather than just running away. So stay tuned. If you're meeting me for the first time, please subscribe to my channel, comment below, and like my videos. Thank you very much. So let's get started. Why do people quit the profession? More and more nurses are leaving the nursing profession, and few reasons were identified as to why they are leaving the profession. I recently spoke to my friends. I was trying to encourage them to do their masters in nursing just to help them progress their career, and the responses I got were mind blowing. And I was like, oh, why wouldn't you want to continue as a nurse? Why don't you want to continue? So that prompted me in doing this video, and I will be sharing with you the top 10 reasons people are leaving the profession. Just to say, this video is not to cause any form of confusion, but rather it is to create awareness and to encourage people to speak for themselves, to speak out, and instead of quitting, they can actually move roles. And recently, there are a lot of working from home roles within the nursing, so they can look for such role that would respect their person rather than just quitting the profession as a nurse. So stay with me as I tell you the top 10 reasons people are leaving nursing profession. All right. So the first reason is toxic work culture. Toxic work culture. So some persons believe that they are in a space that really doesn't welcome them, or they are in a space that does not match their energy, or where they are not respected. They have managers who micromanage them, so the environment is kind of hostile and unwelcoming to them. So they tend to leave the nursing because they feel they can no longer cope or continue with that kind of treatment in the workplace. So if you're someone who is experiencing this, what you can do is to change your ward. If you're a nurse that is working in the bedside, you could change your ward, move to another ward. You can actually change your unit, you can change your role, or if it warrants you moving hospitals, why not? You can change from that hospital environment and get yourself another work setting that can help you cope with all of this. So don't leave, just do all of this. Change your roles, change your word, change your position. You can even work from home instead of just quitting. All right. And the second reason that people talked about was racism and bullying. Racism and bullying. Racism and bullying. So this is a very serious issue. Racism and bullying. Sometimes people who are being meted on this kind of attitude, they may not even realize that they are being bullied or even treated or racially, until maybe someone says, oh, that's not fair, I don't think you are being treated well. So some persons don't really understand what racism and bullying is. But as far as I know, in the NHS, racism and bullying is not allowed. So if you're someone who is being bullied in your place of work, you're being treated unfavorably, you can speak out. You can speak out. We have a speak out team. You can, raise the concern with your matron. You can speak to your manager. You can speak to your senior colleague. And if your manager is the one meeting this kind of attitude towards you, you can go straight to the HR, to the matron, and report her. Or you can speak to the speak out team. That would help, to resolve the concern. And if that is not resolved, yeah, you can move the ward to another ward, or even move your work environment. You can move, work setting. That would also help you in, readjusting your life rather than just leaving the workplace. And people also talked about lack of support and recognition. This, I would say, usually happens within the international nurses. Sometimes you come from a different environment and you are in a new role, and you feel people don't really give you that help and support to help you internalize into the workplace or even into that role. So I understand when people say lack of support and recognition, and other nurses feel, oh, they were, top nurses, like managers in their previous countries or in their previous role, then now they're coming into a new environment and they're starting at the lowest band. So this can actually make the environment a kind of unpleasant or an unhappy environment for them. So if you find yourself in this kind of a situation, for the lack of support, you can identify someone who is close to you, someone who share the same values as you, someone who can listen to you and speak to the person. You can look for nurses who have been in that role, maybe international nurses who have worked in that particular world before, you're in that particular role before. You can speak to them, merge yourself with them, try to learn as much as you can from them, and with that support you will be able to scale through and become the best in your workplace. And for those who feel that they are not recognized, what you can do is to get signed off your current competencies, get everything signed up, and apply for a higher band. Apply for a higher band. You can change role if you're someone who has been, let's say, a lecturer or a matron or even a manager. Then look at applying to those roles once you are done with your OSCE and you sign off your current competencies. That will help. You could be the ward matron, you could be the work manager. Yeah, that's gonna help you. And another reason people talked about was abuse in the workplace, especially mental health nurses being physically harassed by patients in the workplace. So as far as I know, abuse and harassment is not encouraged in the workplace. So if you're someone who is being physically harassed or physically abused in the workplace, what I will advise you to do is to get yourself out of that environment as quickly as possible. Get yourself out, take some fresh air to re-energize yourself. If you need to take days off, yes, take those days off because of your mental health sake. And if it warrants you quitting that role, why not? Why not quit that role rather than just quitting the nursing profession? Look for something that will enable you have your peace. You can work from home, and that will help you instead of just creating nothing. And people also talked about intimidation, they talked about disrespect from colleagues, from managers, they talked about disrespect from patients and their relatives, from doctors and other members of the healthcare profession. If you are someone who is being intimidated and disrespected, my dear, please speak out. Speak out. You need to stand up for yourself and tell them, I am not going to accept this. This you did is not a good thing. Speak out. You can report to your manager. Report it to your manager. If your manager is the one even, maintaining this kind of attitude towards you or just treatment towards you, then you can speak to a higher authority. You can speak to your matron, speak to, the HRO. And if it warrants you moving from that ward, yes, of course, you should move. Move that ward. If you need to move the hospital, yes, it's okay to move to another hospital rather than just quitting. People also talked about the burnout and lack of life balance, work-life balance in the nursing profession. So yes, yeah, burnout is real. You work, you go in, you work, it's real. So and the work lack of life balance is another thing. So these days there are a lot of rules that are, warrant you or that require you to work from home. You can apply to those rules and you can have your life balance when you're working from home. You can also apply to rules outside the bedside, like the maybe infection prevention and other rules that would require you to work from home or even work 8 to 5. For that one, you at maybe 6 o'clock you'll be able to go home and look after yourself or look after your children or whatever, if you're someone who wants to really enjoy your life. So that's a solution to you if this is your case. And people also talked about the horrendous nurse to patient ratio. Horrendous nurse to patient ratio. So this is another reason that is making people run away from the nursing. Horrendous nurse to patient ratio. And most times people get up to 7, 8, 9, 10, and 12 in the NHS, and I've seen cases where people get up to 20 or even more in the care home. So this is huge. This is a huge amount of work to do for just one nurse. So if you're someone, you find yourself in this kind of work with huge workload and you feel you're not coping, my friend, please look for another ward. look for another role, look for another hospital, and find yourself in that place. You can also work from home. You get what I mean? So yes, you can't just, keep draining yourself or in the name of you working. But if you feel you cannot cope with this, then you can move to another nursing role rather than just disappearing from nursing profession. Then another most important reason is low pay, poor pay. Poor pay, despite the increased workload that nurses are putting in, despite the increased workload that nurses are having, the pay is not encouraging. So people want to leave the nursing profession because of the pay. This is quite understandable. So the RCN is currently advocating, I think UNISM is doing so too. They're advocating for nurses to get paid for the work they are putting in. So yes, pending when this is generally reviewed, if you're someone who is, tired of the pay, then you could look for other roles that would, enable you get more money. You could look at moving to higher bands. Can be the work or the hospital matron. If you have the qualification, why not? That will mean more pay to you. Other people also try to do few agencies here and there, few bank shifts just to augment whatever salary that they are being paid. So yes, this is important. But instead of just quitting, you could look for another way of, augmenting your financial situation rather than just leaving the nursing profession. I pray that UK government will look into the nursing salary and review it as soon as possible. And people also talk about lack of progression and promotion in the workplace. Lack of promotion and progression. Yes, so if you're someone who is working in the bedside or you have been in a particular role and you are not progressing, you can actually change role. You can change role. The quickest way to move your band or the quickest way to, move your grade or your level is to apply to another hospital, apply to a new role, other than that particular ward or that specific environment, work environment where you are. You can change from that environment, apply to a higher band in another hospital or in another ward. That would actually give you that promotion that you are looking for once you are able to prepare adequately for that interview and pass that interview. Then you land yourself a higher role or progression you're looking for. People also looked or talked about poor management. So we believe that the management are not aware of the current situation in the workplace or even in the world area. They don't really, get to know what is going on. So they have no idea or they have little idea of what is happening. So we can't really approach them because they won't be the best people to share their experience as to, providing help to situations that are happening in the workplace. So they tend to leave the nursing profession. So these are the reasons people are leaving. And just to reiterate, the solution to this is one is to speak up, speak out. We have the speak up team within the NHS. You can, identify, get their number, and you can speak out whenever you're challenged with whatever situation you are facing. You could also speak up to your manager, you can speak to your matron, you can speak to senior colleagues, you can speak to your HR. This will help, resolve the concern you are having in the workplace. Another thing you can do is to move ward, change your role, or even move hospital. We also talked about looking for opportunities that allows you to have time for yourself. If you're someone who is working in the bedside as a nurse, you can look for roles that will help you create adequate time for yourself. You can work the 8 to 6 rule that will kind of give you the work-life balance you are looking for. And also we talked about working from home. That would give you the opportunity, to have a time for yourself and your family. We also talked about attaching yourself or finding a buddy, someone who understands you better, and attach yourself to them in order for you to learn. If you're someone who is just, moving into a specific role and you feel like you are not supported enough, find someone who understands you, who share the same values with you, and attach yourself to them. This will help you to, internalize or settle into that particular role you feel you are not, doing well at, or not being supported enough. And we also talked about taking the necessary trainings. If you're someone who feels your degrees or your effort is not recognized, you can actually take the necessary trainings and move bands to a higher band. That will help you in terms of earning more, as well as being recognized in terms of the values you bring to the workplace. We also talked about working from home, if I haven't mentioned that before. So that is it. I believe these are the few solutions that I have to give to you. And you can also research more. And I pray that you don't leave a profession, because when you leave, who's going to do the work? If everyone is leaving, who's going to do the work? Who's going to care for the patient? So yes, please don't leave. Don't leave. Don't leave. Please stay with us. And thank you.